Hello everyone and welcome. Today I am delighted to introduce you to Dobrila Badzakova. She is the founder of IT Smart, so welcome. Dobrila has a fascinating personal history of migrating to New Zealand as a very young adult, and I admire the grit that someone has in order to be able to do that, especially to a country that is so foreign. So today, Dobrila is going to talk to us about the gains to be made by assessing our communication and IT resources and how we can simply apply some changes to increase our workplace efficiencies. So just a little bit about Dobrila before we get started. She migrated to New Zealand from Macedonia in 1996. And as I said before, I really admire the grit and raw guts actually that it takes somebody to do that. And then in New Zealand she's worked across all areas of the IT industry, and in 2009 was when she decided to take the very brave leap into establishing or founding her own business, IT Smart. So Dobrila, what we'll do is we'll head into our first question, because I know that you believe that IT needs to be in digestible chunks. So this is not going to be a long interview or chat. So let's get started. So Dobrila, my first question is, in your professional opinion, what are some of the most basic inefficiencies that we overlook in our businesses?
Looking at inefficiencies within the business, we look at perhaps one of the things to talk about is knowledge sharing, and that's perhaps one of the big inefficiencies that we see in businesses on a daily basis. The sharing of information between team members, sharing information, customer services team to our end customers, sharing information with a workforce that's now working remotely, more and more of it, that we see our employees working from their home offices. We see employees working, of course, on site as well, and enabling that mobility through knowledge sharing specifically. It's very, very important. And obviously we're talking about increasing productivity through mobile working, and we can talk about that a lot. But what we really want to talk about is how we can help our staff, in our businesses actually sell the product and service that we sell. At the end of the day, that's what we're in business for. We're all in business of selling a product and service. So before even I start talking about knowledge sharing, document sharing, data sharing, I really like to approach anyone's business is by understanding the client business. It's understanding what they do, what they sell, how they sell it. What do we have in place to help us do that job? So we can look at internal processes, our accounting procedures, we can look at our sales procedures, we can look at internal communications as a whole. So we talk about people, we talk about systems, we talk about communications between all of those together. To bring it back to knowledge sharing, I'd like to maybe perhaps pick one example, one where we have a salesperson out on site who's actually trying to close a deal for us. He's trying to close a deal for a business. He's actually putting a sale out there, talking to the client, and it's very paramount that he's got that quick access to information. It's that information that will help us close that deal on that day, in the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes, without having to actually tell the customer that he'll have to go away to look up stock level availability, look up ETAs, look up price. So we want to be able to allow a salesperson in this instance to be able to provide that information accurately and quickly. So this is where we can look at what do we use at the moment to do so. Perhaps at the moment we're making a call to a customer services team who's then having to go away and look up that information in a different system. So we want to help the business bring that information to the salesperson on site right that moment, right now. So we want to help the business who's selling a particular product be able to say on the spot and close that deal. So tomorrow we can do the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So in terms of software applications, so if you look out there, if we Google search, Google search, there will be a number of different software packages available that could perhaps help us do that. There's a number of apps available that we can load onto our iPad and smartphones. And while there's a great deal of them available, I can talk to the business, to the client, and work out specifically what they're going to need in terms of functionality, but also in terms of cost. Because there's a lot of solutions that are available out there, and they're great solution, but they could be an absolute overkill for the size of business that you have. So this is where we get quite specific, and we like to learn about the business, going back to understanding the business, whether it's a one-man band, whether it's a 5-person, 15-person, 100-person organization, needing to share and collaborate documents, projects, and any type of information that's important within that particular business. So thinking of software, I mean, thinking of knowledge sharing, like we mentioned before, we can look at Workplace, we can look at Microsoft Teams, we can look at Slack, SharePoint. Perhaps the business has got an Office 365 subscription, and we're going to make use of that subscription and add on the SharePoint and develop a SharePoint intranet site that will help them share the documentation. So these are just examples, if you like. So there's a number of options available for our businesses out there. So these are just to mention a few.
Yeah. So I really like the fact that you do a discovery with your clients in the first instance, because we do the same. You can't just bowl on in and think that you've got the solution when you haven't even found out what the areas of issue are or areas of growth. And I know as a business owner as well, it's really important to trust your IT to an expert such as yourself, because I know that it's important. But I quite frankly don't want to get bogged down in all the complexities of it. And I run a small business, Ripple Recruitment, but you help us with our IT, and I know I can trust you, and the advice that you give me is the best advice for meeting my needs and meeting my budget. And I'm very grateful for that, particularly at this time when businesses have to watch everything that many businesses have to watch everything that they are doing. And it's not a cookie cutter approach that you offer. So I think that's really valuable.
Yes, absolutely. Every business is unique in its own way. In the way we use a particular software or an application, it needs to be done in a way that suits that business. We need to pick the right technology, we need to pick the right software, we need to pick the right app, all in mind, keeping in mind the end goal of actually achieving your business goals. That may be closing that deal that day.
Yeah. So you had mentioned to me that businesses can, in previous discussions, that businesses might be surprised at how little investment they have to make in any other software or hardware in order to make some difference in their businesses. So you can advise on that as well. You can show them how to better use what they already have, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The software that you need may already be on your workstation. It may already be on your smart device. It might require just simple tweaking to make the most of it, if you like. But this is where we come in and say, okay, we're going to do business and system analysis, if you like, and this is how we're going to make it work for you without having to invest in the next the greatest thing that's on the market in terms of technology. It might already be there, and all we need to do is we make it work for you.
Yeah, and I think that's great about how you operate your business as well, because you truly do have the customer's best interests at heart, and you are there to make things easier, not more difficult and more complicated.
I would like to think that we make IT easy.
Yeah.
And hassle-free.
Yeah. Well, if you can take the pain out of it, I think many businesses would embrace that. Okay, that's great. Well, let's move along to my next question, which is just a sort of advancement on that. So in your professional opinion, what are some of the most basic inefficiencies that we overlook in our businesses? So, for example, is it underutilization of existing resources? Is it too many resources that don't talk to each other? Is there some sort of pattern there?
Definitely there's that. There's also the fact that we don't actually share the knowledge. It's difficult to actually get to the information that we need most of the time. That's perhaps buried in a document stored somewhere on a drive. So just going back, to the inefficiencies that we overlook, one of the main ones being the knowledge sharing. So basically, just looking at that, how the information is stored and how we can make it readily available to our staff, so that they can make more informed, accurate decisions when they're doing their job. So the idea is that we look at knowledge sharing, but we look at how we share the documentation and how we help our team collaborate on the documentation as well. So a particular project that we're working on, so we're adding, each team member can easily add notes to the project that we're working on, and that those notes are available to the rest of the team, and contributions can be made, and sharing of files can be made easy, and it's all centrally stored. So basically helping businesses quickly and accurately perform their tasks, and basically get the project done.
Yeah. I think, most of us are aware that more businesses are starting up as a result of the climate of 2020 than perhaps at any recent time in the past. And I think as a business owner myself, what somebody like you can offer a business starting up is a really solid foundation in their systems and processes, because I know for me, I think I'm quite good at organising, but I tell you what, the amount of time that I spend trying to find that file that I thought I expertly placed somewhere, I'm fully aware of the time that I am losing by trying to do it all myself, whereas bringing in an expert like yourself can set that foundation and set us up for success. So we're more focused on our core business and not how we do our core business, if you get what I mean.
So absolutely, you actually spend more time doing what you do best.
Yeah.
Without wasting the time trying to do
what
or trying to find the information to do what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks to Dobrila for touching on that really important subject. And you and I have discussed that we will probably do a series on this because, again, it's important to make it digestible for our audience. And the topics are quite specific within the IT umbrella. So we will get together again. But I just really want to thank you for that insight. And I hope businesses will look to you if they are looking for a new or just a provider on the for their IT systems. I think they'll be really surprised at how easily you become an extension of their management teams and take a lot of the pain out of their IT department or IT considerations.
I certainly hope so, Kaylee. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, audience, for watching. Thank you, Dobrila, for your time. Bye for now and stay safe.
Thank you.